These are the most luxurious mansions across Philadelphia, and they only get crazier as we move forward. We're talking about a mansion with a fully custom candy room and a home theater with a live aquarium built into the wall, a mansion where the kitchen has copper ceilings because the owner is literally a professional chef, and a penthouse where the elevator opens directly into your living room. Let's get into it. Number 8. Kyle Lowry's Villanova Colonial. Kyle Lowry grew up in North Philadelphia, went to Cardinal Doherty High School, then Villanova University, won an NBA championship in Toronto, and then came right back to the Delaware Valley and bought a house basically down the road from where he went to college. But there's something genuinely wholesome about that arc, and the house reflects it. The property is a 4-bedroom colonial built in 1980, sitting on 2.2 wooded acres in Villanova. And the first thing worth knowing is that 7,623 square feet in a classic colonial with cherry hardwood floors throughout hits completely differently than 7,623 square feet of glass and steel minimalism. This place has warmth. The gigantic masonry fireplace in the main living room is the kind of focal point that makes a room feel like a room, not a showroom. Multiple custom fireplaces throughout the house reinforce that same energy. The basement is where the personality really comes through. Lowry finished the entire lower level as a personal entertainment hub, professional billiard room, fully equipped wet bar, private media screening room, and a professional-grade home gym. That's 4 distinct spaces running underneath the main living floors, which tells you the basement is not an afterthought here. It's basically a second house. And then there's the children's room with the custom monster truck bed built into it, which is either the greatest thing a parent has ever done or confirmation that Lowry is just built differently. Either way, the kids are winning. The 2.2 wooded acres give the property a natural privacy buffer that no fence or gate can quite replicate. It just disappears into the trees. Outside, there's a custom children's play area, a miniature wooden fort, and a park bench seating area that reads more like a backyard park than a celebrity estate. Lowry also pledged $1 million to Villanova University in 2018 to build new training facilities. Which means this neighborhood isn't just where he lives, it's where he's actively investing in the next generation coming up behind him. For a $1.8 million entry point, this property over-delivers in almost every category. But the next one got considerably more dramatic, quite faster. Number 7. Fletcher Cox's Mullica Hill Compound. Fletcher Cox spent 12 seasons dismantling offensive lines for the Philadelphia Eagles, 6 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pro honors, a Super Bowl ring. And when it came to building his home base, he applied the exact same philosophy he used on the field. Control the space, dominate the territory, make it impossible to get through. The property is in Mullica Hill, New Jersey, which is the classic South Jersey athlete move. Lower property taxes, massive lot sizes, and a 40-minute drive to the NovaCare complex. Cox bought it in 2014 for $555,000 and then spent the better part of a decade pouring custom upgrades into every square foot of it, eventually pushing the value to $1.5 million across 5,575 square feet of main living space plus a 1,545 square foot finished basement. The entrance sets the tone immediately. A 2-story foyer with a statement crystal chandelier and polished marble flooring running through most of the first level. The double-height family room has massive windows pulling natural light into the space. The gourmet kitchen has an oversized central island and professional-grade appliances, and the master suite upstairs comes with a resort-style bathroom finished in premium stone. All of that is exactly what you'd expect from a property in this range. The basement is where it gets interesting. The lower level has a game room, a full bar, and a private wooden sauna, which is a combination that makes the basement feel like a wellness retreat attached to a sports bar, and honestly, that sounds perfect. The backyard runs a resort-style in-ground pool with an integrated swim-up bar, a fully equipped outdoor kitchen, and an epoxy-finished 3-car garage rounding out the perimeter. Here's the detail that tells the full story of this property, though. In 2019, an armed intruder broke in and threw rocks through the front door windows. Cox grabbed a shotgun and defended his home. Which is not a story that ends badly, but it is a story that explains why private, gated acreage and advanced security systems appear on the wish list of every high-profile athlete moving to a rural suburban transition zone. When you're that visible publicly, The home has to work as a fortress. Cox built one, and then had to use it. Number 6. LeSean McCoy's Marlton Retreat. LeSean McCoy is the Philadelphia Eagles' all-time leading rusher, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and a man who grew up with a closet so small that he made himself a promise. When he made it, he was going to build the wardrobe room of his dreams. And then he did exactly that, and it's somehow one of the most compelling details in this entire countdown. The Marlton, New Jersey estate is sprawling and multi-wing, designed around the twin priorities of family privacy and personal expression. And the primary wardrobe suite is the purest expression of both. 2 expansive walk-in closets, custom designed with multi-level shelving and dedicated lighting, built specifically by a man who knew exactly what he wanted because he'd thought about it since childhood. There's a version of luxury that's about impressing other people, and there's a version that's about keeping a promise to your younger self. This one is clearly the second kind. The memorabilia gallery is the other room that stops you. His historic 10,000-yard rushing ball is there, his collection of career achievements, and at the center of it, a pair of game-worn sneakers personally gifted to him by Kobe Bryant, displayed like the artifact they are. McCoy and Kobe had a real relationship, and that context makes the display feel less like a sports gallery and more like a tribute. Outside, there's a custom pool with professional landscaping engineered specifically to maximize privacy and dedicated outdoor space for the dogs, because a proper estate has a proper setup for all members of the household. What makes McCoy's story genuinely worth paying attention to, beyond the house itself, is what he's been doing with his real estate capital since retiring. His firm Vice Capital just completed JMB Gardens, a $16.7 million, 41-unit affordable housing development in Harrisburg, his hometown, named after his grandparents. Governor Josh Shapiro was at the ribbon cutting. That's not an athlete dabbling in real estate. That's someone using the systems they learned to accumulate wealth and consciously redirecting them toward the communities they came from. Number 5. Patti LaBelle's mainline masterpiece. Here's a useful piece of context before we get into this property. Patti LaBelle's Patty Pies at Walmart became a viral sensation that regularly sells out nationwide. The woman is not just a Grammy-winning musical legend, she is a functioning culinary brand with genuine commercial infrastructure behind it. So when she built her mainline estate around a kitchen, that wasn't a design preference. That was a business decision expressed architecturally. The estate sits in Villanova and Gladwine, spanning 9,000 square feet in Lower Merion Township, which is the kind of quiet, secure, established luxury that you move into after 30 years in the game when you know exactly what you want and don't need to announce it to anyone. LaBelle spent 3 decades in her Wynwood home before upgrading here, and the 9,000 square feet reflect a very specific vision of how she wants to live. The kitchen is the center of the entire property, and it's commercial-grade, professional appliances, custom copper ceilings, oversized preparation islands. Copper ceilings in a residential kitchen is an aesthetic decision that takes confidence, and in this case, it lands perfectly as both a design statement and a nod to the warmth of a space that's meant to actually be used. This isn't a kitchen for staging, it's a kitchen for cooking, which for LaBelle is the whole point. The living rooms have soaring ceilings and custom grand fireplaces. The master suite upstairs has its own sitting area, fireplace, and a full marble bathroom. There's a temperature-controlled wine cellar and tasting room. The backyard runs a custom pool with an integrated stone jacuzzi and outdoor lounge decks. Every room in this house reads like someone who knew what they were building and built it deliberately, which after a career as long and as sustained as LaBelle's, is exactly the energy you'd expect. Number 4. Julius Irving's Stone Normandy Estate. The thing about Julius Irving's estate in Villanova is that he was doing this in the early 1980s, purchasing a Normandy-style stone estate on the main line during an era when the combination of black athletic stardom and mainline real estate was genuinely uncommon. Dr. J didn't just lead the 76ers to a championship in 1983. He was also, in real time, building one of the first modern templates for what a black sports superstar's residential footprint could look like in this region. The property at 636 Crichton Road sits on 2.44 acres in Villanova and spans 8,225 square feet in the Normandy architectural style. Stone foundation, pitched slate roof, stone siding throughout. This is not a house that's trying to impress you with flash. It impresses you with permanence. The materials are built to last generations, and the design carries the kind of European formality that the Normandy style is specifically known for. Inside, wall-to-wall marble flooring runs through the main level, alongside custom millwork and a professional kitchen with built-in ovens and cooktops. The master suite on the second floor has a full closet room, a dedicated sitting room, and a bathroom with an under-window soaking tub, the kind of detail that only makes it into a home when someone has thought carefully about how mornings feel. 3 additional bedroom suites, each with private bathrooms. And then the third level, fully finished as a private entertainment space with a wet bar, half bath, and cedar closet. The top floor is a retreat from the rest of the house. Outside, a 4-car attached garage, private tennis courts, a large in-ground pool, and elevated balconies looking over the 2.44-acre lot. The basement runs under the entire footprint of the house and remains unfinished, which at this scale means there's an entire floor of potential that nobody has touched yet. Irving was one of the first NBA players to build major commercial endorsement deals alongside his playing career, and this property is what that financial foresight looks like in brick and slate. Number 3. Allen Iverson's Gladwin Hideout. In September 2000, Allen Iverson, freshly in the middle of the most culturally significant run of his career, paid $2.4 million for an 8,000-square-foot colonial mansion in Gladwin, Pennsylvania, behind a gated entry on 2 acres of landscaped grounds. For a player who represented everything anti-establishment about early 2000s NBA culture, the mainline address was its own kind of statement. The answer, living on the most traditionally exclusive real estate corridor in the Philadelphia area. The contrast was never lost on anyone paying attention. The property was built in 1998 and customized heavily around entertainment. A private billiard room, a temperature-controlled wine cellar with a dedicated tasting room, a custom home theater, a children's playroom, a professional exercise room, a fully equipped butler's pantry, 6 bedrooms, 6 full bathrooms, 2 partial baths. The backyard runs a custom swimming pool and spa surrounded by mature landscaping that closes the property off from everything outside the gate. At the peak of Iverson's career with the 76ers, this was the private world behind all of it. Here's the detail that makes this property genuinely interesting beyond Iverson's ownership. After he sold it in 2006 for $2.85 million, it was purchased by Phillies second baseman Chase Utley, who then gutted the interior and rebuilt it in a sleek, contemporary style. Which means the bones of what Iverson built are still there. The entertainment infrastructure, the layout, the gated 2-acre positioning, all of it preserved under a completely renovated aesthetic. One property, 2 very different cultural chapters, both of them distinctly Philadelphia. Number 2. Ben Simmons' Moorestown Mansion. We need to take a moment here, because the Moorestown estate that Ben Simmons commissioned in 2019 contains a detail that has no comparison on this countdown, or, frankly, in most luxury real estate conversations, and that detail is a dedicated custom candy room. A room in a $5 million mansion designed specifically for candy. And the thing is, once you learn everything else about this property, it doesn't even feel like the most extravagant thing in the building. The house was designed by Waddell & Boschetti and spans 10,477 square feet on a private 1.78-acre cul-de-sac lot at 9 Miller Court in Moorestown, New Jersey. The entrance alone tells you what kind of property this is. A double-height foyer with a custom floating curved staircase, 10-foot ceilings, and white oak hardwood flooring running through every level. The kitchen has double oversized islands, 2-inch mitered Cambria quartz countertops, and Wolf, Sub-Zero, and Viking appliances, the full professional-grade lineup. The adjacent dining room has a floor-to-ceiling glass-enclosed wine wall flanked by wet and dry bars on either side. But the basement is where this property truly separates itself. The lower level runs a professional gaming room, a full-service bar with dedicated ice machines, and a home theater. But the theater has a lounge aquarium built directly into it. A live aquarium integrated into the wall of the screening room, so you're watching a film with an active underwater ecosystem as part of the ambient environment. That is not an amenity you find in most boutique hotels, let alone private residences. And then the candy room. Custom designed, curated, a dedicated space in a $5 million house for the singular purpose of housing confectionery. You either love this detail or you respect it. Both are valid responses. The exterior runs double-gated entry, a dedicated dog run, professional synthetic turf play area, and 6-foot privacy fencing around the perimeter. The entire property is integrated with a state-of-the-art automated audio, visual, and security system. Every inch of this house was designed from scratch for one specific person's lifestyle, and it shows. Number 1. Joel Embiid's Society Hill Penthouse. At the top of this list is a property that breaks from every other entry in the countdown, not because of the square footage, which at 3,549 to 4,300 square feet is actually the smallest on the list, but because of what those square feet are doing and where they're doing it. Joel Embiid's penthouse at 500 Walnut Street, Unit PH1500, sits in the heart of historic Philadelphia, priced between $5.5 and $6.3 million, in one of the city's most exclusive boutique residential towers. 7 floors of total building, 1 resident per floor. Private elevator that opens directly into your personal foyer. No hallway, no shared space, no lobby encounters. You step out of the elevator and you're already home. The interior is bi-level, which means it operates across 2 floors within the penthouse itself, with double-height floor-to-ceiling windows wrapping around the living space and framing views of Independence Hall, Society Hill, and the center city skyline simultaneously. Calicotta marble flooring throughout, which is a specific and expensive choice, not just marble, because Calicotta comes from a single quarry in Italy, and the veining on each slab is unique. Custom minimalist white cabinetry. A waterfall-style quartz center island in the kitchen with professional-grade appliances. And the entire property managed through a Savant smart home hub, controlling multi-zone lighting, climate, and an integrated sound system from one interface. The building provides 24-hour concierge service, secure underground valet parking, and private elevators. Monthly HOA runs between $3,828 and $5,062, which, for the access and the infrastructure, is the cost of the lifestyle rather than just the cost of the building. What makes this penthouse genuinely interesting as a conclusion to this countdown is what it represents beyond the price tag. Every other property on this list, the wooded colonial, the South Jersey compounds, the mainline estates, the Gladwine hideout, operates on the suburban or semi-rural model that has defined Philadelphia's black elite real estate for 40 years. Embiid went vertical, went urban, went into the historical center of the city itself, and bought the top floor of a 7-unit tower looking down at Independence Hall. The 2023 NBA MVP, living in a penthouse above the building where American independence was declared. And that's a wrap on the 8 most luxurious black-owned mansions across Philadelphia. From Kyle Lowry's wooded colonial down the road to Joel Embiid's penthouse above Independence Hall, Philadelphia's black real estate story runs from monster truck beds to Calicotta marble, from Normandy stone foundations to floating staircases and live aquariums. Every property on this list is a different answer to the same question. What does success actually look like when you build it on your own terms? If this video resonated with you, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and also drop a comment on which mansion actually got you. And if you want to have more interesting peeks into how black wealth is being regulated in America, take a look at Black Status. We'll see you in the next city.